Welcome to the Sunday morning simulcast with Rom Wills. And of course, I'm Rom Wills. Facing your fears. And you know what? I've done quite a few on this general topic, maybe from different angles. But I was inspired because, you'll be hearing this on a Sunday morning, but this past week, there was... some issues at my son's school because apparently some shooting threats had been called in. And, I think there's been quite a few copycat threats or whatever called in since that shooting in Florida. Here's the thing. There's always something out here that will induce fear, that will cause fear. In fact, I did a podcast on my Deep Thought channel talking about how fear is a smart weapon. And it's a smart weapon because just giving someone a fear of something can actually affect their bodily systems. I mean, you could do a lot more with some type of propaganda campaign that induces fear than you can with like the biggest weapon of mass destruction. In fact, it is a weapon of mass destruction. People think about the physical harm something can do, but the mental harm is even greater. And not even in terms of something on that scale, but often as we go through life, we have a fear of something. It could be small, it could be large. It could be a fear of spiders, a fear of dogs, or just a fear of stepping out of our comfort zone, A fear that this more attractive person will take our mates. A fear that we can be physically harmed if we go into certain areas. A fear that if we let our children walk, more than a block away from the home, something will happen to them. The thing is, all of those things can happen. You can get bitten by a dog. You can get into an accident. Sad to say, your child could get snatched. Or they could get snatched. You can be assaulted. All of those are legitimate fears. Because all of them have happened. But the reality is you can't walk through life with fear. Because you won't be living at that point. You'll just be existing. You'll be fearful of everything. You won't be able to take that chance to move forward. You won't, if you have that fear, you won't be able to say hi to that person you've been looking at for the past 2 months. You won't be able to ask for a raise, or a job too, but ask for a raise on a job that you worked hard on and you deserved it. You'll be fearful about going certain places because you're worried about somebody robbing you or something like that. Thing is, you might even get a fear. You could have a fear to the point that you can get run over, or that you can get into an accident. The thing is, you can't have it because you still have to live. You still have to go and do anyway. I've heard that real courage is not an absence of fear, but of having a fear and doing it anyway. You still have to live life. Do you know most people has some underlying fear, and which is why they can't have true fulfillment in life. Most people, even a fear of sex for some people. But you got to face it if you want to live. Let me be the one to tell you, death can come for you at any time. I mean, a reality is, as I'm sitting here recording this, a plane could literally crash into the building, or, somebody leave the oven on, or there's some type of explosion. Now, do I sit here as I'm recording worried about that? Or somebody trying to bust through my door or something like that? No. Because, it is a fact. Anything can happen, but you can't sit back and worry about it. You just got to go ahead and do. Because what's the ultimate fear? The ultimate fear is dying, but death can come for you at any time. And the issue is not how you died, but how did you live? You got to live. You got to want something more than being afraid of it. You know? I mean, you can face your fears. That's the beauty of it. And I talked about this in a video before. I had a fear of heights. But then where I was living someplace, there was some work, something that needed to be done on the roof. And I forgot why I had to get up there, but I had to get up there. I had to get a ladder to get up on that roof. And I was like, oh, this ain't that bad. Because I faced it. Now, that's not to say I'm going to stand on the ledge of a tall, skyscraper anytime soon. But still, you can't worry about stuff. You can't worry about that pain that you feel in your stomach or something like that. Some people become hypochondriacs, or they are hypochondriacs, and they worry all this stuff. I was like, why don't you go check it out? It might not be that big. I mean, I've had sometimes. I remember I had something. I ain't going to say what it was. And I thought it was something major. And the doctor said, nah, it'll fix itself. But, you know, I'm still willing to live. You got to live. You can't let fear stop you. Anything can happen. The best you can do is say, I'm going to face this anyway. Now, you don't want to be stupid. If you know there's an issue with dogs, you don't want to walk past a dog park or anything. And if you're worried about going through some neighborhood or something, you don't have to go through it. But if you got something there, you need to go ahead and face it. If you got something to do in that place. Because here's a funny thing. Once you face your fears, once you conquer them, you're like, wait, that wasn't that bad. And that's life. You can't be afraid to live life. You know, you can't be afraid to do what you got to do. You have to face it. You have to face it all the time. Because that is what keeps people, you know what? It really is what keeps people in bad relationships or without a relationship. Keeps people in jobs they don't like. Keeps people in places they don't like, in situations. It's not that they don't like this or like they're comfortable with their situation. Shoot. 99% of the, 100% of the time, they want to get out of it. Because even the people who try to say, oh, this is okay, are lying. They want to get out of it, but then they have that fear. But you have to face it. You have to practice it. You know? And it's not all, you know what? It's okay to fall sometimes as you face into that fear. If it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. I want y'all to think about that. It's okay to fall sometimes. It's okay. You know, that's the life. Life, you know what? Life is meant to be a challenge. Seriously, life isn't meant to be easy. I don't care who you are. There's always a challenge. I was telling a friend the other day, now, you know, people know me for talking about relationships. And, you know, they know me for talking about guys. You know, I use the example, the guys who get like a bunch of women. And I know some people on the outside think that's an easy thing. Even they have their challenges. Even they have their challenges. They have their fears too. And you know what? That means they have to face it. You have millionaires, billionaires. People think, oh yeah, they're a millionaire, they're a billionaire, whatever. Well, it's rich people with health issues, so they facing something. They got their things they got to face. Everybody, every single person on this planet has something that they have to face. They have a fear to overcome. You know, that's one of the reasons I will just say it. I will say it. I'm not bragging, but I'm living the life I want to live now because I had to overcome some fears. I had to face it. I had to take leaps. You know, I had to take leaps from jobs that were steady and that I was good at. You know, I had to take chances on stuff. You know? So I just went out and did it. So the important take back, no matter what, face the fears. I know it's tough out here. It's tough. Because I'll admit, when there was something, a threat called into my son's school, of course you start thinking like, oh, wow, is it going to be dangerous to go to school? But it was like, you know what? He could be standing next to me. We can be in the best neighborhood and something could still happen. So do I have that fear when he's not around me? No. You just got to go on and do. And we have to stop that. People have to stop letting the fears control them, but they have to face them and they have to conquer them. Because when they conquer them, the reward is great. So that's it for today. I want everybody to think on what I'm saying. I want everybody to keep rising and transforming. Peace and blessings.